Yo, what is up guys? Back here with another video. In today's video, we are going to be going over how to EV your Pokemon for Tera raids. Just how to EV your Pokemon in game in general. So this is still useful even if you're EVing them for like competitive, VGC, anything. This is just basically just to show you how you would translate it over really easily. Especially if you're a beginner trying to get into the game, you know, trying to learn how to EV properly. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So what I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to take a Pokemon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys showdown where you can EV it, and then pretty much how we would take it into game, how we would go about doing that. So I'm going to grab a Pokemon that has not been touched in terms of its EVs. So let's actually take I'm going to actually save before I do this, because obviously like I'm using a bottle caps, which I need to like not use all the time because they're very rare, or like they're not rare but like use them, but basically just so I could show you what it looks like. So all right, so pretty much, right, we're gonna go into the box here. We're gonna pick a Pokemon of the ones that I've caught that we're just gonna go for EVs with, right? So let's do this Excalibur, right, because I haven't exactly EV'd it yet. So we're gonna put it here. We're gonna put it over the Koraidon. Okay, so now let's take a look at its stats. Okay, so I should probably heal this thing first. Okay, so anyways, looking at this thing's stats, right? The Excalibur is a Pokemon that has a special attack reducing nature, which is good, but unfortunately it's boosting special defense, which we actually don't want. We want a nature that's going to be boosting attack. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you would build the set that you want for the Pokemon first, and then how you would take it in the game. So right here, we're going to go over to my screen, and let's look at Excalibur, right? So Excalibur's stats, and I'm just going to tell you guys like how generally you would like take its stats and like kind of EV it based on what it looks like. So Excalibur, let's say we were to use it for like a raid, or we were to use it for like you know, anything, right? Like looking at its stats, it seems like it biases more into the attack stat, right? So let's say that I wanted to make I'm gonna make a pretty like standard set, because obviously this is just with like you guys knowing how to EV in mind. This isn't exactly like how you EV your Pokemon specifically for everything. This is just more so how you would go about doing it. So pretty much here, we're going to go 252 attack, we're going to go 252 HP, and we're going to go 4 defense, right? And let's say that we want to make it an offensive physical attacker, right? So we're only going to be using physical moves on this Pokemon, so that it can do like a lot of work in terms of its offense, right? So Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, or Ice Spinner, I guess would be a better. No, it doesn't even get Ice Spinner, so figures. And then we go down here and we want like Earthquake, right? So now we have a Excalibur set, and let's say we want like a Life Orb or whatever, right? So let's say we were trying to get together, you know, this Excalibur. Now we have a general idea. This tells you all of its stats at level 100. If you want to check for the specific level that it's at, you can do level 75, right? So first what we're going to do is we're going to look at normal Excalibur, right? So let's say we just want to see what the normal Excalibur looks with an adamant nature, because adamant nature would boost its attack. It's an attacker. That's what you want to do. So now we're going to go back into the game, right? And we're going to take a look at our Excalibur stats after we do two things. First thing we need to do if we're going to make it adamant is we need to give it an adamant mint. You get these from raids. So this guide is more so like assuming that you have obviously like these things in hand. I believe you can also buy them if I'm not mistaken. So you can buy them at like stores. But anyways, we're going to use the adamant mint, and we're going to use it on the Excalibur, right? Now the Excalibur is of the adamant variety. So you can see over here, if we go over, right? Now Excalibur's stats are going to be boosting its attack stat, right? So that's just generally like good to know like how to do that. You just use those mints, and then we come over to this guy, and this is in Monte Nevera. So you guys can see, I'm just going to show you what the whole town looks like so you know exactly where it is. In Monte Nevera over here, this is where you would find the hyper training guy. Now you go over to him. I wouldn't recommend using a gold bottle cap unless you have a Pokemon that like wants all of its stats to be maxed out, but for the most part that's not usually going to be the case. We're going to select this. Do you want to use bottle caps or gold cap? I'm using bottle caps. I only have bottle caps right now. Which stat do you want me to raise? So you'll see his stats are max. Anything that has a crown on it, I'm actually going to take my camera off here so you guys can just see the full thing. Anything that has a crown on it is maxed out, right? Or it's at its max potential IVs. So the reason why this Excalibur has such good IVs is because of the raid that we got it through. So I got it through a 5-star raid. When you have a 5-star raid, 5 of the IVs are perfect, right? Which means that's really good. That means that you don't have to waste bottle caps. However, its HP isn't perfect, so in this case, we're going to be using a HP bottle cap on it, right? So you'll see, goes through the animation, trains it, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the Excalibur stats and see how they compare to the Excalibur that we have in the builder in Showdown. Now the builder in Showdown literally has what the perfect stats look like because you can max out the IVs in Showdown. So we're gonna go over here. You'll see that between the two, right, you have 280, 269, 166, 126, 157, 158. Now we go back, right? Look over here. 269, so perfect attack. 280, perfect HP. It like you should know it's perfect, but just so I can just show you how it looks like. 166 defense, 158 speed, 157 special defense, and you notice the special attack is lower than the one in Showdown, but it doesn't matter that you have the if you have max special attack or not, because you're not using that stat. There's nothing that you're using it for, right? So now you guys can kind of see like, okay, we have this. So now how do we EV the Pokemon to match it? So I'm not going to use all of my stuff because I actually don't even think I have enough protein or like money right now to like fully show how to EV it, but I'll just show you how much each kind of item like uses in terms of the EVs. Actually, I might have enough. Okay, I do have enough, and I saved before, so it's all good. Okay, so what we would do, let's say we want a TV. There are two methods you can do, and one is going to be training your Pokemon with the EVs, right? And for training your Pokemon with EVs, I'm actually going to refer you to my girlfriend's video. She did like a really in-depth guide of this video, so check that down in the description if you guys are interested. That video goes into depth of where you can train, like literally starting from Route 1, where you can train in certain Pokemon like early on, right? And what we're going to do here is we're going to go over to this store. So this store is called, like, I call it the Chansey store. It has a little Chansey on it in the front, you guys can see. And this store pretty much gives you a bunch of proteins. You can buy mints there, I'm pretty sure, to change your stat. Let's actually see if they have that. Yes, they have the mints. Actually, this is exactly where you buy the mints. And pretty much what you can do, let's say we wanted to max out our Excalibur in attack stat, right? And HP, like we had on Showdown. What we would do is we would do 25 for HP. Both HP ups and proteins up your EVs by 25. Or, sorry, by 10 EVs, right? So we would get 25 of these, okay, and we would get 25 of protein, right? So that's what we would do here. And then finally, and I'll show you guys how you get those extra 2 EVs. We wouldn't need to get anything else from here. Okay, I did not mean to walk back in there, unfortunately. All right, so now, right, we have our stuffed EV. We're gonna go to our Excalibur, right? Now, let's look back at Showdown one more time to make sure that we are doing the proper EVs. So now that we know that we have all the proper stats, we're going to max out our HP, max out our attack, max out our defense, right? And pretty much all we have to do is just make sure that we have done it properly, but I'll show you guys exactly how to match it. So you'll see 252 attack, 252 HP, 252 attack, 252 HP, 4 defense, right? Now we're going to go back to make sure we get this, okay? If you use exactly 25 of each, you will be maxing out the stat, or at least hitting 250, and then you just need some feathers to kind of make the difference. So use this item. Whoa, hold on. Wrong Pokemon. Boom. Okay. We're going to use 25. Right? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We're going to use 25 this time. All right. We're going to use, or 23 in this case. We have 250 points in our HP now, right? And we're going to make sure that we use 25 on Excalibur as well. It gives you the option for 26, but use 25, and I'll explain why. And then now we have a Excalibur with 250 EVs in each. So you might be like, okay, but we only have 250, so how do you make up the difference of like the remainder of the stuff, right? So feathers allow you to EV by 1, right? So if I use a health feather, right, and I use 2 of them, boom, and I take 2 muscle feathers, which boost attack, now I'm exactly at 252 and 252. Now you might be like, okay, but why wouldn't I just use like another protein if I don't want to go through that effort? The reason why is because of the ways EVs work in game is you can add 2 extra EVs to a 252 stat, right? So what that does is it could potentially actually mess up your EVs enough where you can't actually get the 4 EVs you want out of your other stat. So it actually is just like not good for your EVs in general. So let's do our Swift Feather, or our Defense Feather, I think it was. Yep, Resist Feather. And we're going to put 4 on Excalibur. But you'll see it can go up to 6, so 6 total, right? So theoretically, right, if you put 256 and 256 in both your stats, you'll only get 2 EVs for your speed, which actually, or for your speed, defense, whatever it is, which doesn't actually change the stats, so it's a waste. You're wasting your EVs. But if you do 4 in your defense first, now it doesn't matter, right? Because those extra EVs weren't doing anything anyways, but you're making sure that you're efficient with your EVs. So now let's go and check back with our Excalibur, right? Okay. 328 HP, 322 attack, 167. By the way, I'd always recommend saving before EVing your Pokemon because you use a lot of money if you're using this method to buy it, which is why I also want to link the method that my girlfriend had as well for training. That takes longer, but I'm showing you guys the most efficient way to do it. So now let's take a look at the screen and make sure we have all the stats proper. We're matching 328 on HP. We're matching 322 on attack. We have 167. Yep. 126, 157, 158. So we have actually read this thing perfectly with what we wanted to do. And that's pretty much all you need to do. So I just wanted to show you guys basically the quickest way you can do it and like efficiently. And realistically, having a lot of money is the nicest way to EV anyways, because it saves you a lot of time and struggle. If you do have Pokemon that are already EV'd in other stats, and this is why I don't like using playthrough Pokemon too much for the examples, you will have to use berries to reduce them, by the way. So you'll see these berries like the Palm Egg Berry, the Kelpsy Berry, the Koala Berry, all these berries. These berries work like proteins or like the vitamins, but in reverse. So they'll take away 10 EVs instead of giving you 10 EVs. And you would use these berries to essentially remove your EV investments. And let's even see like how we could check if a Pokemon's EV invested, right? So first off, let's take an example of like how we would check with like a Pokemon like this, right? So a Pokemon that's on a competitive team, right? Because they usually have more complicated investments, so that way I could show you exactly how you would do it. First thing you would do is we're going to look at the level, okay? So we're going to look at the level of the Pokemon that is here, right? So the Pokemon is level 50, which means that what we're going to do when we go into Showdown is we're going to set this Amoonguss to level 50, right? And when we set this Amoonguss to level 50, what it's going to allow us to do is see what its stats would look like with max IVs. If certain stats don't match, what we can do is compare and then see what we want to, what we want to do with that. So we're going to go to screen share here, right? It's 219 HP. The stats are perfect, obviously, because it's a competitive Pokemon, right? But, that's or not perfect, because the attack stat's actually kind of messed up. But I had more attack than I should have, because I couldn't get a perfect one in time. But anyways, so you have 219 HP, right? And then we can look back as you're going back and forth. I'm just showing you like what you would do if you were going back and forth between them, right? You go check. Okay, defense is one. Attack doesn't really matter. So the attack actually is perfect. I forgot I bred a 0 IV1. But yeah, 105 defense, right? Okay, boom. So we know that there are 116 EVs in the defense stat, right? Let's go back. And 132 in special defense. And we can see by the nature that it's sassy nature, right? Because it's reducing the special defense and it's what's it called? Lowering the speed. Or sorry, reducing the speed, upping the special defense is what I meant to say. So we're gonna go back to screen share, right? And you guys can see basically as well, there's a nature list here and it tells you what all the natures are called and what they do. So that way it should be easy for you guys to figure it out, right? So now we know that the Amoonguss has 236 in HP, 116 in defense, and 156 in special defense. Now let's say we wanted to reset this Amoonguss so we could train it differently, right? What you would do is you would use 24 of the HP reducing berries, and the HP reducing berries take away 10 EVs per berry, obviously. So 24 makes sense, even though you have 236 HP, it's gonna be enough to reduce it, right? You would use 12 defense reducing berries, and you would use 16 special defense reducing berries. And if you wanted to change your nature, and do that, you can obviously get a mint from the store. So that's pretty much how you would remove EVs from Pokemon. Now, obviously, it gets more complex than this. If you want the easiest way to just like, let's say you have like a playthrough Pokemon, right, that you're trying to like make into a competitive Pokemon, what I would recommend doing is maxing out its IVs first, because then it makes it easiest to compare to what it looks like in Showdown, and that actually gives you a really easy way to kind of like see where your Pokemon's EVs are invested, so you know. And yeah, hopefully that guide was helpful for you guys. As always, I try to bring content that I think is going to be helpful for both my Tera Raid viewers and my VGC viewers. I guess this is still helpful because you can see EVs regardless of, you know, what you do. If you guys enjoyed this kind of content and this is helpful for you, let me know what you guys would like to see in the next couple of videos. Also, I'm going to have a referral video linked down below to Sierra's video where she kind of goes more into specifics of where you can specifically grind EVs if you don't have the money for, you know, vitamins, all that stuff. As always, guys, I incredibly appreciate it. And thank you for the support on the videos. See you next one. Peace.